Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today, inshallah, we are going to continue working on the character. We will add the animations to the character movement while the player control the character. For example, if the character moves to left or right, we want to show the character the walk cycle. If it jump also, we want to change the character condition based on the illustrations or based on the sprite we have. First of all, last tutorial, we prepared the character in terms of physics and uh, coding, and we have the character moving. And let me check here the before I start the jump is set to W. Let us see the crouch. Yeah, crouch to us or setting the character in setting condition. Okay, in order to add an animation to the character, we use something called the animation inside Unity. But before that, I need to import these animations. As I said before, there are two ways of using animations in Unity. The first one is the sprite, and the second one is the flash files or the animation files. The sprite means dividing the image, the animation into a sequence of images, like what you see. It's like the frame by frame animation. For example, here we have Mario in the Mario walk. You can see there are three different images for the walk cycle. Because of course here, because we have a basic animation, we can increase the frames or decrease them. It doesn't matter. For the jumping, we have this frame and this one. And for the setting, we have only one frame. And for the idle, as I said before, the idle means the character is standing without doing anything. We have only one frame. If it's contain more than one frame, it will be okay. What we are going to do in Unity, it work with one frame or 100 frame, the process will be the same. There is something important to explain here is the sprite sheet we use. In order to design a sprite sheet, the background must be transparent. There must be no background for the sprite sheet, and the arrangement of the frames must be organized and arranged correctly and accurately. Means the spaces between the illustration, as you see. For example, here I have walk cycle. The displacement, the space between them is the same, and all the character, all the drawing on the same line. This is important on arranging the sprite to be able to slice it in Unity. For me, before I work, I slice them from here. For example, the walk cycle, I have it here. And we have the jumping and standing, and we have sitting or crouching. These what I'm going to use. And as I said, if we have more frame, the process will be the same. Okay, going back to Unity. Here we have the idle. We already used it. Flipping based will be by using the script I sent to you. Let me import the other sprite, for example, the walk. I'm going to use all of them to write, and this software will flip them. And we have the crouch, and we have the jump, import. Before I continue, I need to change them to sprite. Here we have the walk multiple. I need to open this sprite editor. Yes. And then slice and then apply. For the jump, also sprite, multiple, open sprite. Yes. And slice and apply. For the crouch, only one frame, only single, and apply. Now, in order to add the animations to Unity, we need to use two things. The first one is the animation window, and the second one is the animator. The animation window we use to insert the animation. Let us start with it. Window, animation, animation, window, and let me drag it and put it here. Of course, uh, uh, I need to select the character and then open the animation window again. Here inside the animation window, I have, while I'm selecting the character, it is empty, so I need to create a new animation clip. And here, from here, I need to save it. Let me create a new folder. Player underscore animation. And inside it, I need to name the animations. Let me start with the player idle. And let me hit on save. Here I have the first one. Let me make the project behind it like this. And from here from the idle, I need to click and drag it inside the timeline. Because I have only single frame, will be only one frame. Here on the player idle, I need to click and then click new, add new clip. And here idle player underscore walk. And uh, here from the walk cycle, I need to drag the frames. So here I have the first one, and then the second one, I'm going to put it at 10, and the frame, let me click on the play. Now it is prepared. I can select the frames from here. I can increase the distance between them to make it more slow, or I can make it faster. If we need, we can change it in the future. For now, it's okay. Here on the walk, I need to add a new clip. And here I'm going to add a new animation for the jump. And here I have two frames. For the jump, I'm also going to need one. I can add the second one, but one will be enough for the animation. No need to add an extra frame. As I said, we are working with a simple and basic game. but the idea adding frames still the same. And I need to create the last one. The crouch. And here, from here, I need to add the last frame. Once I finish with the with all of the animation I need, now the animation is already added and separated into 4 parts. I can add more or less. It depends on the type of character or depends on the type of animation that I want to create. Now I need to control these animations based on the user clicking on keyboard, based on the user action. So here inside the player animation, if I click on the folder, I will find the animations I create and an extra one called the player because I selected the player. If I click on it, it will open to me the animator, something called the animator. Inside the animator, as I said before, the animator we use to control the navigation between these animations. Inside the animator, you are going to see all the animations we added, the player idle, the player walk, the jump, the crouch, all of them, you are going to see them here. If you missed or accidentally delete one of them, you can just click and drag it from here to here and it will be okay. Let us start. I have the idle. The entry means the when we click on play, which one of them is going to start. And let me arrange them. I might change the arrangement again. I'm going to separate it a little. Take a look now if I click on play. I select the player. Now only the idle is going to work because it's for default, it's going to play the idle animation. And because I have single frame, nothing is going to show here, to be shown here. So let us now start connecting these frames together and based on the user control. First of all, I'm going to create the link between the idle and walk, and that is going to be based on the speed. So here inside the parameter, I'm going to add a new variable called float. Let me name it speed. I'm going to check the speed. In a minute, I'm going to explain, I will explain how to connect this variable with the scripts we have. But now, based on this variable, I'm going to order the system to navigate, to change the animation from idle to walk and walk to idle. So here I'm going to make a transition between a transition between idle and walk which means moving from idle to walking based on what? Let me select this as transition. Here we have the condition when the animation will be changed or moved from idle to walk. I'm going to add a new condition here, as I said, based on the speed. If the speed is greater than if the speed is greater than 0, but usually we do not add 0, we add a small number, then that's mean it will change, the animation will move from idle to walk. If I want to put it back from walk to idle, I need to make another transition from the walk to idle, like this. And here I need to add a condition, also the speed, instead of greater, less than 0.01. If the speed is less than this value, then it will be changed back to the idle. There is something extra thing that it's better to change it. has exit time. No need to enable that. Also, the transition duration. We can add time or delay between the transition between these two. Also, for that, no need. So I need to change it for all of them. Has exit time, no need, and the transition between both of them. Also, I don't need to add time. I want to make the change happens immediately. So now I have the variable is set accurately, but of course I need to adjust the code, and here inside the player, what I need to do, I need to open the player movement, the code we prepared last tutorial. And then I'm going to show you what we need to add. Here we have the code that we wrote last time. First of all, I need to link this code to the animator to be able to reach the variables I have on the animator. Here, if you remember, inside the animator, I have variable or parameter, and I'm going to create an extra for the jump and crouch. So in order to reach them, I need to create a variable and put the animator inside that variable. So how to do that? Here, I need to write public animator. And let us call it animator. Focus, the animator in A capital is a saved word for refers to the type of the variable. The animator, this is just the name of the variable. And now we can drag it inside. Let me hit on save. And let us open Unity again. If I click on the player, here I have the player movement script. Inside it, you are going to see the animator. All we need to do is to click here and drag the animator inside the variable. And now the animator is linked to this script. Now I can reach the variables or the parameters defined inside the animator. So what I'm going to do here, I have the code to move the object left and right. So below it, what I need to write, animator refers to the name of variables that contain the animator, dot set float, because the type of the parameter I defined in the animator is a float, and between two parentheses, I need to name that parameter or that variable. We name it speed, and focus here, it must be exactly the same name. And after, and what we need to send also, hurry move we defined last tutorial to identify or to specify the value of the movement that the object is going to move left or right, and semicolon. But here there's a problem. In animator, we check the values greater than or less than 0.01. Here on the movement, when we move the object in x-axis, the movement left and right will be in positive and in negative. So in negative, it will be less than the value, and the character will be changed to idle. And we don't want the system to check the value in negative. only in positive. In order to do that, we need to use the absolute. So here we need to write math f dot absolute, a new parentheses, and this thing we added will change the value. It will keep the value in positive, not in negative all the time. So here I need, in this way, I can transfer the value from the code to the speed parameter I defined inside the animator. So here, that's how I can check the speed and connect that with the script. Let us try it. Let me save at first, and then I click on play. Now the object is moving. We need to connect the other animations. Let us start working on the jumping. For the jumping, I'm going to define a new parameter. That parameter will be pool, because I want to check whether the player or the character I have is jumping or not. So here, let me name it is jumping. And the initial value will be false. Here, I need to connect it to any state, make transition. It means that this is going to work in general, unless one of the other conditions or statements that we are going to do, this one is going to work. So here, on this from any state to jump, the condition I'm going to add, not speed, is jumping and true. If the is jumping is true, then this animation will start to appear, and transferring from jumping to idle or to walk. In order to do that, I need to create a new transition from here and here. Is jumping is false. If the jumping is false, then the animation will change back to idle, but that's not enough. How can I determine that to go from jumping to idle or to walk? By using the previous variable or parameter we defined. So here, if the speed is less than 0.01, and if the jumping is false, then the object will move to the idle. And here, never forget to stop these, because we don't need them. It will be faster. And also here, I need to add another transition to the walk. For the here also, I need to add the two condition, the speed greater than 0.01, and here is jumping is false. So that's mean if the speed, if the character moving, then the speed will be more than this value. And if I'm not clicking on the jump, then is jumping will be false. Then the animation will transfer from the jumping to player walk. But of course, we need to fix that with the scripting, with the coding, to be able to reach this parameter, which is jumping. Let me copy the name to add to make it exactly on the code. So here, if the input to get button down jump, the jump equal true. This is for make the character jump. And here, exactly like what I did here, I need to call the animator that contain the animator to be able to reach all the parameters I have there. So animator dot set, not float, because the type of the new variable I defined is bool. Bool means true or false. Set bool between two parentheses. What I need to define, two double quotations, and here the name of the variable is jumping and comma. What I need to add, true. This is the value I need to save. That's mean when the player or the user click on the button for jumping, the character will jump, will move in y-axis, and the animator, the animation for his jumping is going to be start playing or appearing. But that's not enough. How can I change the is jumping to false? By using the code. In order to do that, let me show you the problem why I need to use to set the is jumping, the parameter I defined inside the animator. Why do I need to set it back to false? Let us try now. Did I hit save? I can move. Let me click on jumping. Because I didn't change the is jumping to false, the animation will stay on the jumping animation. It will not move to the idle, move back to the idle or to player. In order to do that, I need to define to add a tag for the ground. Why I need to do that? Because I need to check the collision with these objects. I cannot check the collision with all the other objects, because in real games there might be many objects. I don't want to check their collision with the character to disable the jump. If I want to check the collision with the ground, why? Because based on checking the collision with the ground, I will be able to change the is jumping to false or true. That's mean if the characters, if the collision, if there is no collision with the ground, that's mean that the character is moving up and there is no collision, so the value will be true. Once the character hit the ground, and I want to specify that when the character hit the ground exactly with a specific tag, I want to make the is jumping false. How to do that? I can specify the collision with what, and based on that collision with a specific object, I want to do a certain things. And that's how we usually define collisions, because in real games, we do not want to check only the collision of the character with everything, all the objects inside the game. Based on the collision of the objects between the character and the other objects, we specify the rules of the game. So it's better to work with tags. So here, I'm going to click add a tag. And here, I need to click on a plus, and let me name it GR, short for ground, and click on save. Now the tag, I can find it here. I'm going to select it. And for this also, I'm going to change the tag for GR. Now I can change, I can check if the collider of the character hitting the ground, the collider of the ground of these two rectangles. In that case only, I'm going to change the is jumping to false. Let us do it here. I need to create a new function, void on collision, enter 2D, of course. I don't need the private. Here inside it, what I need to write, if to parentheses, collision, the variable I defined here, dot game object dot tag. I want to check the collision with the ground. So equal with if statements, we use the equal 2 times. That's mean I want the system to check if the collision of the character or of the object that linked with this script with the with this one, if the collision between these two, then what I want to do, what I want the system to do, begin and end, and inside it, here I want to change the animator set full to false. That's mean when the object hit the ground, hit the ground, the ground collider, then is jumping will set it to false. And that's mean the animation will be changed from jumping to walk or idle based on the speed, of course. Let us go back here and check it now. Let me move left, right, and as you see, I added the jumping. The last one I need to add is the crouching. Here I have the crouch. I need to link it with the walk cycle, with the player walk and the idle. Let me put it here. And I need to add a transition from crouching or the character settings sitting to walk, and from walk to crouch. And for here, I need for in order to do that, I need to add an extra parameter, also pool, called is crouching. I'm going to copy that. Because I'm going to use that. And here, I'm going to click on the transition from walk to crouch. How can I do that? Let me uncheck this and change this to 0. And here I need to add is crouching true. If it's true, then the animation will be transferring or transitioning from the player walk to crouching. If I want to change it back from crouching to walk, I need to add two conditions. The first one, the speed. If the speed greater than 0.01, and if the crouching is false, then the animation will go to a walk. And I need to uncheck these and change the value to 0. And here I need to add a transition, and from the idle to when the object is standing, if I want to change the animation from standing to or idle to crouch, means sitting, what I need to do, let me make these zeros. I need to add the parameter is crouching and true. If I want to change it back from crouching, I need to check the speed less than and also the crouching. If the crouching is false, then the speed below than 0.01, then the player idle animation will start playing. That's inside the animator, but we need to connect it like what we did with the jumping. But I'm not going to use the collision. I'm going to use a specific function because here inside the controller 2D script, the script I provide to you, inside it you can see there are events that we can use. Events mean I can define a function inside the code. I can open it here and it will be executed during the game based on the reference I have here. So, for example, if I want to check the crouching will be checked based on the other script that I provided to you. So here, let me go back to the script. I need to create a new function. In order to be able to use it inside the event in Unity, I need to define it as public. So public, we can use it for variables and we can use it with the functions. So here, public void, let me name it on crouching. And I want this function to receive a value. So I need to define a variable to receive the value inside it. Focus now, I'm still on the function name. I'm not inside the function. I want this function to receive a value and do anything based on that value or to that value. And that's we use in functions. For example, if I want to make a mathematical equation, I can create a function and send these numbers to this function and execute the mathematical equations based on the variables, based on the values I received inside the functions. Like what I did with the collision enter. So here I need to define bool, for example, is crouching. And focus here, the I is a small letter. In the parameter and animator, the I is capital letter. And now I can click on add begin end or the curly brackets. And inside them, what I need to do, I need to do exactly the same. Animator dot set bool to curly brackets, two double quotations, inside them is crouching, and here this variable I defined here. That means the is crouching. Here I'm not going to change it from inside the button, make it a true and false. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to create a function. That function will be linked to the code inside the other script. So by using that function, the is crouching parameter I defined inside the animator will be changed automatically based on the script, will be changed accurately from crouching or not crouching from true to false. So here, let me click on save. And let me go back to Unity. And here, of course, what I need to do, the last thing, inside this event, it's still empty. I need to click on plus. And from here, I need to add the script I wrote, the player movement. I need to call the function I wrote here. I am now inside this script player movement. I wrote a function called on crouching. I want to add it here. So here, inside the no function, I need to go to my script, player movement, and from here, I need to select the function I wrote. I can find the name. I can name it anything I want. I name it on crouching. Based on your name, you are going to find it here. And now it is linked, and that will be linked with the other script. So the checking the crouching accurately will be by using the other script and will be linked to the variable I defined here. Let us try now. Movement up and down as you see. Let us check it in the animators, what is happening. Walking, movement. When I stop, idle. When I jump, when it's above the ground, this will be working. When I click on crouching, check here the parameters and the animation. Here, the parameter now is on, means crouching. If I move my mouse, my hand on from the key, it will be idle. If I click on jumping, it will be checked until the character hit the ground again, and also the movement, the speed will be changed as you see. So that's how we can add an animations to the to Unity, and that's also today we explained how to control these animations based on the player interaction with the game and based on the code we wrote last time. That's it for today, and see you next tutorial, inshallah.